Hello and welcome to our advanced hip mobility flow designed for mitigating injuries and pain in the hips and lower back. My name is Morgan. I'm a master instructor with Stick Mobility, and I'm going to take you through 5 movements today that will help strengthen your hips to prevent pain. We are going to be using all 3 of your sticks today for this flow, but we're going to be starting with the short stick on the floor in your 90-90 position. So if you're newer to 90-90 or if you're still working on getting down into that 90-90, you can of course put a bolster under that front hip, under the front knee, or you can simply work in that shin box position. But hopefully eventually we can be working in that 90-90 position. We're focusing on keeping the spine and the hips working in isolation from each other. And then we're going to be working them together to promote more efficient movement of the lower body. So in order to separate those movements, we're going to start in our 90-90 position. The stick is going to be on the outside of the front leg, either pressed into a wall or a stable surface, or a floor that's not going to slip out away from you. So we're going to start in that 90-90, left leg is in front with the knee straight in front of the hip. 90-degree angle here at the hip, so the right leg is straight out from the hip, both knees are bent at 90 degrees and feet are flexed. You're going to hold that stick right at chest height and drive into the ground with 40% tension. Then we're going to just simply pitch forward over that front leg, priming this 90-90 position. So as we shift forward, you're trying to lift the leg up towards your body while your body is shifting forward into that stretch. Then we're going to press down into the floor with that leg to come back up. Maintaining that 40% tension, we're shifting forward, finding a deep stretch in the outside of that left hip, and then press down into the floor to come back up. We're going to do that one more time. Pitching forward into that stretch, take a deep breath here, make sure that the spine is not round, and then press down into the floor to come back up. Stay in that 90-90. We're going to lift the stick off the floor and maintain that tall position of the spine. You could slide that stick over to the right for a little more counterbalance to prevent any leakage of that left rib cage. And we're going to stretch into the internal rotation of the trail leg. So you're going to drive that right hip towards the floor as you rotate your chest towards the right knee. The left knee can come off the floor as you're in this stretch. Then you're going to drive the right foot and shin into the floor at that 30% tension to rotate back forward. Then we're going to do that 2 more times. We're just stretching into the rotation of that right hip and then push into the floor to rotate back out of it. Let's do that 1 more time. Shifting the right hip down, rotating towards that leg, and press down to come out of it. Now let's rotate towards the front leg. I'm going to shift again, but you can stay right where you're at. We're going to push the outside of the stick into the floor at about 7 o'clock here. And the top of the stick is going to reach towards 1 o'clock. You're going to press the stick into your left thigh. And as you're doing that, you're going to rotate your body towards 11 o'clock, right? And if you could get towards 10 o'clock, even better. I'm pushing into the stick with my left hand, holding that position. So now we're rotating the spine on top of the hips. And then you're slowly going to come out of that position, releasing the tension. Then we're going to do that again. Push the stick into the thigh and the floor at 30% tension. Rotate the torso to your left and hold. And slowly come back center. We're going to do that 1 more time. This time we're going to hold this position a little bit longer. Make sure both legs are driving into the floor. Let's increase that tension to 50%. Maintain that 50% as you lift the stick up and hold here. Try to keep your body rotating. Try not to leak out in that left side of the rib cage. Keep those legs pressing down into the floor at 50%. Bring the stick down and release. Let's do all of that priming of the hip rotation and spine rotation on the opposite side. So we'll go with the right leg in front, left leg is the trail leg, stick is going to be on the outside of that right leg, pressing into the floor at 30% tension. We're going to shift forward into your external rotation stretch on that right hip, and then push down out of that floor with the right foot and shin to come back up. Let's do that 2 more times. Just stretching into this front hip, hold, and press down to come back up. 1 more, stretching forward and hold, and press down to come back up. Maintain that tension. We're gonna lift that stick off the floor. So we're getting those hips a little more active here. You can shift the stick over to the left for a little counterbalance. We're gonna rotate that left hip towards the floor and rotate your torso towards that left thigh. The right knee can come off the floor. Try not to round and contort the spine here. Then we're gonna press that left hip away from the floor as we rotate back forward. Let's do that 2 more times. Right? Drive that left hip towards the floor. Keep that spine nice and tall. And press into the floor with that left foot and shin as you come back out of it. Let's do that 1 more time. Rotating that left hip towards the floor. We're stretching into that internal rotation of the left hip. Drive the foot and shin into the floor to come back out of it. Let's bring the stick down and rotate towards the front leg. So now the stick is gonna be pointed towards 5 o'clock, the top of the stick towards 11. You're gonna push that stick into your thigh and floor, which will activate the legs and the hips. You're gonna rotate your torso towards 1 or even 2 o'clock without leaning and leaking in that rib cage. Hold here. Some flex in the stick is okay. Hold. And then release that tension, turning the torso back forward. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Press that stick into the thigh and the floor as you rotate and hold. And slowly come back forward. We're gonna do that 1 more time. This time holding a little bit longer. Make sure that those legs are nice and active, increasing that tension to 50%. As you lift that stick away from the floor, try to hold that rotation. Hold that tension in the hips. Squeeze that stick. 3, 2, 1. Bring that stick down and release the tension. Okay, so let's stand on up. We've got those hips rotating. We've got the spine rotating. Let's strengthen the hips with our Captain Morgan. We are gonna grab both long sticks. We're gonna do 5 reps of our Captain Morgan. Each rep is going to extend the leg if you have access to that, if it's available to you. Just 1 set, we're gonna go for 5. So we'll start in a tall standing position. I'll show from the side. Left stick is gonna be at 12 o'clock, holding at chest height. Right stick is gonna be either at 2 or 3 o'clock or somewhere in between, whatever you can manage with those hips. Left hip is the hinge, right hip is the door. So the left hip remains still while the right hip opens the right leg. Drive the sticks into the floor at 50% tension and lift that right leg up, hold. Maintain that tension, pressing in on that stick with that right foot as you extend the leg as far as you can, hold. We're gonna bend that right leg, open the door to the right stick. Find contact with that stick as you extend the right leg, hold. Bend the right leg. Come back to 12 o'clock. Increase to 60% tension. Extend and hold. Bend that right leg. Open the door. Push into that right stick. And extend, hold. Bend that right leg. Close the door. Back to 12 o'clock. Increase to 70% tension. Last 3 reps, we're gonna hold this 70% tension. Bend that knee, open the door, extend, keep that tension back into the right stick. Bend the knee, close the door, keep that 70% tension. Don't let it relax, extend. Bend the knee, keep that leg up. Open, extend. Bend, we've got 1 more rep, you can do it. Close the door, keep 70% and extend, hold. Bend, open, and extend. Push into that stick. Bend, close, and rest. All right, let's go into our opposite leg. I'll show from this angle. On this side, we're gonna go tall standing with the right stick at 12 o'clock. Left stick is gonna go 9 or 10 or somewhere in between. We're gonna hold those sticks at chest height. Take a deep breath. Now we can drive those sticks into the floor at 50% tension, staying tall on the right leg as you slide the left leg up 12 o'clock here, keeping contact with that stick. We're at 50% tension as you extend. And we're gonna bend with control. Open the door, don't let the right hip go with you. And extend the left leg. Bend. Keep breathing. Close the door back to 12. We're gonna increase to 60% as you extend. Bend. Open the door. Extend that leg. Bend. We're going to do 3 more. Close the door. Increase to 70%. We're going to maintain that 70%. Hold. Bend. Open. Extend. Push into that stick. Bend. Close. Extend. Bend. Maintain contact with the stick. Open, keep pushing back into the stick as you extend. Bend, we're fighting here. Close, last rep, extend, hold. Bend, open, and extend. 3, 2, 1. Bend, close, and rest. Okay, those hips are awake. We're going to keep our long sticks. We're going to work the posterior chain now with our single leg deadlift. Okay, so we'll start at in a tall standing position. Sticks are going to be at 11 and 1 o'clock. Bottoms angled towards you, holding them at sternum height this time. We're going to go back to our 50% tension. Take a deep breath and exhale. And here we go. 50% tension into those sticks. Keep the right leg nice and extended as you lift the left leg up. And we're going to load that right hip. Reach the hips up and back. Find that single leg hip hinge so the right knee is nice and soft. We're making a T with the body. Try not to overarch that spine. Keep that left leg parallel with the floor. Don't let it drop. Hold. And then let's drive the sticks into the floor to come back up. We're going to do 4 more. Okay, second rep is going to look just like the first. Here we go. Finding that hip hinge. Breathe in this position. Really focus on maybe finding a little stretch in the right hamstrings, loading up that right hip, and slowly come on up. We're going to do our last 3 with a little helicopter action. Go into that single leg hip hinge. Once you're there, we're going to move the left stick to 12 o'clock and the right stick to 2 o'clock. You're going to turn your body towards 1 o'clock and the leg towards 7 o'clock. We're going to hold here. So we're rotating the body on top of that supporting leg, right? So the knee might start to come off track with the toes, and that's exactly what we want here. Slowly come back center with those sticks, 11 and 1, and come out of that position. We're going to do 2 more just like that. Okay, you get 2 more chances. We're keeping that 50% tension into the sticks here. 12 o'clock with the right stick, 12 o'clock with the left stick, 2 o'clock with the right stick. Body goes to 1 and leg goes to 7 o'clock. Hold here. Make sure that that right knee remains soft. And we'll come back center and up. Last rep. Go ahead into that hip hinge. Hold here. Let's see if we could go a little further this time. Left stick over to 1 o'clock, right stick to 3 o'clock, body to 2, and left leg to 8 o'clock. Hold. So now we're even a little more rotated on that standing hip. And come back center. And rest. Okay, give that right leg a little bit of a break. We're going to do that same thing on the left side. Tall standing position. Sticks are at 11 and 1 o'clock. Holding at sternum height, take a deep breath. And now, here we go. 50% into the floor with those sticks. You're gonna lift the right leg up, standing nice and tall on the left foot. And we're gonna go into that single leg deadlift position. First 2 reps, just feeling out this position. We're maintaining that 50% tension on the sticks. Hold. And slowly come on up. And let's go 1 more just like that. Loading that left hip, finding a little stretch in the hamstrings. Check in with that right leg. Make sure the toes are pointing straight down toward the floor. And come on up. Last 3 reps, we're gonna add that rotation helicopter. We're gonna go into that hinge. Once you're there, the right stick goes to 12, left stick goes to 10. The body's gonna go to 11 o'clock and the leg is gonna reach towards 5 o'clock. Hold. We're rotating on that supporting leg and then slowly come back center and back up. 2 more just like that. Go ahead and find that hinge. Start to feel that left hip work in here. Right stick to 12, left stick to 10, body to 11, leg goes to 5 o'clock. Hold here. Check in with that spine. Make sure you're not overarching here. Abdominals are still engaged. Come back center and back up. Let's do that one more time. Go into that hip hinge. Hold here. Now see if we can rotate a little bit further. See if the right stick can go to 11, left stick to 9, body to 10, and that right leg towards 4 o'clock. Hold. Keep that left foot planted. And then slowly come back center and rest. Okay, shake it out. Release that tension. We're gonna come back to the floor into a half kneeling position. We're gonna work some lunges. So we're gonna work the hip extension of the bottom leg in your lunge position. So let's go with the right knee down, left leg in front. The long sticks are gonna be out in front of you at 11 and 1 o'clock, and we wanna make sure that the back leg is not externally rotated. The foot is gonna be right behind the knee. And we wanna make sure that the hips are not behind you, that you're not leaning forward this way or pushing those hips forward this way. We're gonna drive the sticks into the floor at 60% tension. Now, as you do this, you're gonna feel a stretch in the front of that hip because you're scooping the tailbone underneath you. Glutes of that right hip are nice and engaged. Let's increase that tension to 70%. And then I want you to maintain the structure of this supporting side as you lift that right knee off the floor and hold. If you can in this position, we're gonna lift the left stick 1 inch up and hold. And switch, try to lift the right stick up. If you can't lift those sticks, that's all right. Just hold that lunge position, bring it down. Let's lift both sticks, hold 3, 2, 1, and release. Take a deep breath. Let's go 2 more times with that same exact drill. Find 60% tension. Exhale, increase to 70% tension. Lift the right knee up, hold. Let's lift the left stick up, hold. And the right stick up, hold. And both sticks up, hold. 3, 2, 1, and down. Good. Try not to shift forward when you lift the knee or those sticks. We're gonna go 1 more time. Driving down at 60%, increasing to 70%. Lift the right knee up, hold. Lift the left stick, hold. Lift the right stick, hold. Come on, you can do it. And both, 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, that right hip and quad, we're working nice and hard. Let's switch sides. Left knee is down, right leg is out in front. Make sure the left foot is not externally rotated, straight behind the knee. Sticks are at 11 and 1, holding at shoulder or chest height. We're gonna drive those sticks into the floor, scooping that tailbone under, finding a stretch in the front of the left hip, and those glutes nice and engaged. Increase that tension, 70% tension. Maintain that tension, maintain the structure of your body as you lift the left knee and hold. If you can, lift the right stick first, hold, and switch. Lift the left stick, hold, and lift both sticks, hold. 3, 2, 1, release. Take a deep breath, release the tension. We're gonna go 2 more. Drive down into the floor with those sticks at 60. Increase to 70 as you lift that left knee. Stay low. Try not to shift forward. Lift the right stick, hold. Lift the left stick, hold. And lift both, hold. 3, 2, 1. Release. Take a deep breath. One more rep. You could do it. Here we go. Gather that tension into the sticks, pressing down into the floor at 60%. Increase to 70. Lift. Lift the right stick. Hold. I'm still pressing down with that left stick when the right stick lifts. Switch. Press down with the right stick. Lift the left. Now lift both. Hold. 3. Last 2. Last 1. And release. Oh, nice, nice, nice job. We've just got a nice little stretch to finish this out. So we're gonna get the hips and the spine working all together here with our ninja flow. So we're gonna go in a wide stance, wider than shoulder width. Toes are gonna be facing forward, especially because we're focusing on the hips in this session. We want those feet to be pretty far apart so we get a nice stretch in the adductors, the inner thighs. Stick is gonna go just inside the right instep, and you're gonna hold the stick at about eye level or forehead level. We're driving down just at 30% tension here, just trying to drop that heart rate. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips, soften the knees, letting the left arm just kind of hang towards the floor. And then go ahead and reach that left arm across the body without rotating those hips. Pull that stick apart at 30% tension. And then you're gonna shift to the left. Bend the left knee, straighten the right. Keep that left knee open and use that stick to help rotate the spine, looking up towards the ceiling. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Shift to the right and look at that left foot. Pull that stick apart again at 30% tension. Shift to the left and hold. Using that stick to rotate the spine. And shift back to the right, looking at that left foot. We've just got one more rep here. Pulling that stick apart at 30% as you shift to the left. 3, 2, 1. Shift to the right. Release that left arm. Soften both knees. Slowly come on up. And let's switch sides. You can keep that wide stance. Readjust if you need. Stick's gonna go inside the left instep. You're gonna hold at about eye level or forehead height. Driving down at 30% tension. Just center your body here. And then go ahead, reach those hips back. Soften the knees. Right arm just hangs towards the floor. And then let's reach across the body without moving the hips. Pull that stick apart at 30% tension. Bend that right knee. Feel a stretch in the hips. And use that stick for leverage to rotate the spine. 3, 2, 1. Rotate to the left. 2 more. Pull the stick apart at 30% tension as you shift to the right. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Shift to the left. And let's go one more time. Pull that stick apart as you shift. Deep breaths here. 3, 2, 1. And shift to the left. Release that arm. Slowly come out of it. That was super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you next time.